Hey there everyone, Hitesh here, back again with another video and welcome to the Docker series. In case you haven't hit that subscribe button on the YouTube, please go ahead, it's going on with the amazing series, so you might want to hit that. Now let's go ahead and move forward. So we want to create an image of MongoDB, but since MongoDB is a database, which is also a service, so creating an image for such a service level program is not that much easy. Surely it's not that much complex as well. So what we're going to do, we are going to break down this into creating first and foremost a smaller image so that we can get a taste of how these customized image are being designed by installing a program on it, which we don't know what it is, what program we are installing, we just know the name of program, and that's what we should care about as of now. So in this video, we're going to understand that. We're also going to understand a bit about what is base image. So let's go ahead and get started for that. And again, we'll be using the same configuration for the MongoDB as well. So I am on my desktop right now, and you can also go ahead and move on to your desktop or downloads, wherever the folder might be interesting to you. So I want to create a new directory. I'm going to use a command mkdir to create a directory there. And I'm going to name this as my Mongo dash image. Now, really, you can name it anything. The folder name is not at all dependent on what kind of image you are creating. So go ahead, hit enter. It has created. I'm going to walk into that program, my Mongo that, and there we go. Now I want to open up a code editor and I want to open this folder inside a code editor. I'm going to be using VS Code, and I've configured it so that whenever I say code dot, it opens up the code VS Code on the current directory. But in case you want to go ahead and use something like VS Code or Sublime Text, Atom, whatever you want to go ahead and use, just go ahead and use that. No problem in that. We just want to write some code and that's pretty much it. All the files can actually handle that. Now inside in here, I'm going to create a new file, and that file name should be exactly Docker file. Only the D is going to be in the capital. Rest all the files are in the all the red letters are in the lowercase, and there is no extension. There is not .py. There is nothing like .js, .cpp. There is nothing like that. Just Docker file. Hit enter. Now, right now we have nothing inside this file. This is the core file which is going to be responsible for doing a lot of things. So the question is, how do we even generate an image? For that, I have a diagram for you to understand it further. So there we go. This is how we actually interact and how we create a custom image. So first and foremost, what we do is we create this Docker file. We have just created that, and that is it, Docker file. You write some piece of command or lines of instruction inside that, and that file is further being processed by the Docker client. Docker client further gives this file to the Docker server and some of the commands which are already installed in your system. Once this is being processed completely, then you get a custom image onto your system. Right now, it looks like a very simple step. You just create a file, you give it to the Docker client, and you just have a custom image. And yes, basically that's all about it. It sounds really simple at the overview, but it's not really that much simple. There is a little bit more step involved in the step number one. We have created a file, but what to write inside this file? So for that, let's go up here and try to get that. Okay. So there are basically 3 steps or sometimes even 4 steps involved in it. And you can write the comments by using the hash sign. So let's just say we're going to have a step 1, and let me actually duplicate that. So we are basically going to have step 1, 2, and 3. And sometimes, optionally, we do have a step 2.5 as well. So technically, there are only 3 steps. So let me separate them out so that we can discuss more about them. There we go. Looks great. Okay. So what is this step number 1? This is step number 1, as I told you, is moreover about getting a base image. Now, from where can I get this base image, and what actually is the base image? The base image is moreover an operating system. We, of course, cannot work directly on the hardware. We need some of the files inside that hardware so that we can interact with kernel, maybe some of the system calls and things like that. Now, it would be great if we have some of these base images. Now, Docker support a whole lot of variety of base images. You can freshly install an Ubuntu there, a kind of a Debian image there, and a whole bunch of other as well. The most common one that you're going to see is going to be Alpine. And you might be asking, what is this Alpine? Now, Alpine is an OS which is a minimal Docker image based on Alpine Linux. So Alpine is just a Linux. It's very, very short and small. That's why in most of the early beginner friendly tutorial, you're going to see that we use Alpine. But should I always use Alpine? No, that's not a compulsion. You can use Ubuntu as well. And in fact, most of the things most of the configuration which uses Node are going to be based on Ubuntu. So it's not compulsion for the Alpine. Now here's a quick side note as well. A lot of people who are working on the Python world and want to create an image which is going to be running heavy end duties which are based on Python, they never used Alpine. Just a sidebar, just for the reminder purpose, Node is also based on Ubuntu. So why we are using Alpine? Because we are not doing any heavy duty work as of now. Later on we may. So step number 1 is done. The step number 2 is basically to install a software. Okay. Now this is pretty easy. We can do that. What is step number 2.5? Is configure that software. Okay, and the step number 3 actually is set default commands. Now again, the rest of the stuffs are actually a bit more optional. Once you have got the OS, what you really want to do with it, what you want to set on top of it is totally on you. So you can be absolutely friendly for that. Now we are going to talk more on to these commands as well. Notice the from is written in all caps and Alpine in all lowercase. This is also compulsion. The entire Docker file is very case sensitive. We're going to talk more on to that. Right now you can just follow me along. Whatever I'm writing, you can just go ahead and run that. So then we are going to simply say run all in uppercase. Make sure you absolutely know about that. And then I'm going to say apk add, and I'm going to say bin utils. What is this bin util? What is this APK? Okay, bin util is a program just like you were having a program Postman. Some of you know about it, some of you don't know about it, and that's fine. That's all great. We are not much worried about what program we are installing. We'll come back onto that later on. APK is like apt-get in case you have heard about Ubuntu. It's like yum install in case you have heard about Debian. It's almost like how we are bringing that program. Since we don't want to be relied on the browser too much because we are in the Linux world, in that world, we mostly go ahead and in the Alpine world, actually, we go ahead and say apk add and then the software name. As of now, I don't want to configure that software anything right now. We will be doing that when we'll be creating a Mongo image. And now in the set default commands, I don't have any commands, but in case I would have any command, I would use this cmd, then in the pair of a square brackets, I'll put up a double quotes and then I write my executable command. Just for a simple bare example, if I want to run npm install, I would say npm and then in the double quotes install. So that's how you run your command. We'll come back onto this. Don't worry. We'll come back onto this later on. Right now, I just wanted to show you that it's a 3-step process. Usually, sometimes the configuration steps also comes up, and sometimes some steps are being reduced to like null as well. So we don't need this one right now. We're going to hit just like that. And now we are creating an image. Just save this. We are creating an image which is having a bin utils program. And that's it. That's all what we want to do. But how we can run this program? Running the program is actually super simple. We're going to go onto the terminal. Make sure in your folder when you do an ls, you are able to see this Docker file. Now, what we do, in case you remember the program, we have this Docker file now. We haven't talked much on to what's inside it is in detail. We'll do that. But we can actually give this file to the Docker client and it will generate a custom image. So how do we give this file to Docker client? That's actually super easy. We can go onto the terminal and simply say docker build, not niled, build, and then use a dot. Now this dot is super important in this case. It provides you a context about what kind of file and where that file is. Now this can be fairly complex in a big project, but right now this is a very simple thing. So just use a dot here. So we're going to hit enter. And now a few things are happening up and we need to discuss what is going on in here, because if you don't understand what is going on right now and right here, it may become very complex later on. So we can see that there is a step 1 of 2 involved, which says from Alpine, then some number is coming up, then something is happening, something is running, it's fetching it something, I don't know what it is, and then it's saying installing bin utils. That is exactly what we know. We have discussed that. And it also says removing intermediate container. What is that? And how this number is different, and then we are getting this number. So which one is ID? Which one is for us? Okay, These are some all the interesting and very important questions that we need to answer. So in order to answer that, we need to move on to the next video. I hope you are enjoying this, as I am absolutely enjoying this Docker situation here. So I hope you have already hit that subscribe button. I don't need to remind you it again. That's it for this one. Let's catch up in the next one.